Good morning, students. Today we are going to see a new prose, His First Flight, written by Laimo Falti. He is an Irish novelist. He has written many proses. In this, His First Flight gives us many ideas to us. Before I start the lesson, let me ask a few questions to you. The first question. Have you ever seen the baby's first walk? Second question. Have you ever attempted to see any bird's first attempt to fly? The same two questions has the answer in the prose. Okay. Now I will explain the first question. If we see a baby, it has many struggles to walk. First it has to crawl. Then it has to walk. For walking, it has to fall many times. The baby has to accept the fall and the mistakes, and it has to walk for the time. For that walk, the baby needs a courage. Who gives the courage for the baby? The parents and the relatives and the neighbors. They will motivate the baby to walk. Same way the birds also has. The parents of the birds will motivate them to walk or fly for first times. Okay. Here in our lesson, we are going to see a bird, how it started fly for first time and how many struggles the bird has undergone and how it has overcome its fear. So now let us move to the lesson. Okay. 10th Standard English Unit 1 Prose, His First Flight, written by Laimo Falti. Before I start the lesson, let me introduce the author to you now. Laimo Falti was the author of this novel. His time is 1896 to 1984. He was an Irish novelist and short story writer and major figure in the Irish literary renaissance. He was the founding member of the Communist Party of Ireland. He has written a number of short stories in English, and he has spent most of his time traveling and lived comfortably and quietly outside the spotlight. Now let's move to the lesson. His First Flight, page number 2. The young seagull was alone on his ledge. His two brothers and his sister had already flown away the day before. He had been afraid to fly with them. Somehow, when he had taken a little run forward to the brink of the ledge and attempted to flap his wings, he became afraid. The great expanse of sea stretched down beneath, and it was such a long way down, miles down. He felt certain that his wings would never support him. So he bent his head and ran away back to the little hole under the ledge where he spent at night. In the first paragraph, the author gives a brief introduction of the bird's the current position. So the bird was left alone in the ledge. So what is ledge? You might have seen a narrow shelf, a rock. It will be like this. The edge is called as a ledge. Okay. The topmost place is called as a brink. So here, the sea stretched over a sea. Here the author tries to give a clear view of the natural scenery here. The bird was in the ledge and it has many attempts to fly, but it couldn't fly because of lack of courageousness. Because beneath there is a vast ocean. The bird thinks itself that if I fly, my wings never support me, and I may fall down and I may lose my life. So that the bird but never stop, never fly, and it will come back to its own place. Okay. So the bird has to spend the whole night all alone in the village. So it was spending the night because of lack of courageousness. In this paragraph, we are going to learn a few new words. The first word, ledge. Ledge means a narrow self. Already I have showed you what is ledge. Next, a brim. Brim means edge. So the edge part is called as a brim. Next, flap. Flap means movement of wings. Okay, the birds want to flap his wings, but it was never supported. So the flap means movement of wings. Beneath. Beneath means underneath. Here, beneath the ledge, there was a vast sea. Certain. Certain means undoubtedly or definitely. Now let's move to the second paragraph. Even when each of his brothers and his little sister, whose wings were far shorter than his own, ran to the brink, flapped their wings, and flew away, he failed to muster up courage to take that plunge which appeared to him so desperate. His father and mother had come around, calling to him cheerily, scolding him, threatening him to let him starve on his ledge unless he flew away. But for life of him, he could not move. The author gives a beautiful view that the younger brothers and the sister, they had far shorter wings than the bird, but they had already flown away. But the young bird, which is staying on the ledge, could not fly or could not attempt to fly because of lack of courageousness. So that the parents came and scolded him and threatened him. For what they are threatening, if you stay in the ledge, you may starve. You may starve for the food and you will die with the hunger. So they are threatening him. If they threatened like this, the bird may fly there. That was the parents' thought. So here we have some new words. That is muster up. Muster up means gather or assemble. Next, shrill. Shrill means high-pitched sound. The birds usually used to do the sound. Next, plunge, jump or dive. The shrill, you might have heard the sound in the early morning. The birds used to give the same sound. Okay students, we have learned two paragraphs. At the same time we have two questions. The answer we have to take from the paragraph itself. Okay. Before we learn this, I will give a tips how to write the question and answer. Okay. Whatever the questions are there, we have to exact answers from the question itself. We have to start the answers from the question itself. Okay. So the first question, why did the young seagull fail to fly? The answer, the young seagull failed to fly because he was afraid to fly. So same word afraid, we have learned the lack of courageousness. Okay. So if you want to change the answer, you can change. The young seagull failed to fly because of lack of courageousness. Okay. The second question, what did the parents do when the young seagull failed to fly? The parents scolded him and threatened him to starve on the ledge if the bird failed to fly. Okay. So the parents, what they have done when the bird was not flying for the first time. So the parents, they have scolded him, threatened him, and if you are not able to fly, you have to stop. Now we will move to the third paragraph. That was 24 hours ago. Since then, nobody had come near him. The day before, all day long, he had watched his parents flying about with his brothers and sister, perfecting them in the art of flight, teaching them how to skim the wave and how to dive for fish. He had, in fact, seen his older brother catch his first herring and devour it, standing on a rock while his parents circled around, raising a proud cackle. And all the morning the whole family had walked about on a big plateau midway down the opposite cliff, laughing at his cowardice. Here, the author gives a next view. The bird was all alone in the village for 24 hours. In the young bird's family, they were busy with their activities. The younger brothers and the sister, they had started to fly. The parents, they were started to teach how to skim the wave, how to fly, and how to flap his wings. Then next, the younger brothers, they had first catch and the fish also. Okay, so the first catch of the younger brother was herring. Herring is a type of fish. Okay, next, here the parents' family and their birds, they had settled on the next rock. Okay, so the younger bird was on the ledge, it was here. The parents, they are settled here on the next cliff. Okay, cliff means a small rock. They are settled there. Okay, so between them there was a vast sea. It was stretched over. So the bird cannot reach them unless the bird has to fly. Okay. In this paragraph, the author gives a new words here. So let's see the new words. Skim. Skim means moving on the surface. Okay. So the birds are actually used to do like this. So it has to fly between the surface and the sky. Next to waves. Waves means gesture. Okay. Next devour. Devour means eat quickly. Here the younger brothers, their first catch of herring fish was eaten quickly. Next cackle. Cackle means a sharp noise or wiggle. Plateau. Plateau means high ground. Next cliff. Cliff means steep rock. Cowardice. Cowardice means fear of or lack of bravery. Now let's proceed to the fourth paragraph. The sun was now ascending the sky, blazing warmly on his ledge that faced the south. He felt the heat because he had not eaten since the previous nightfall. Then he had found a dried pieces of mackerel's tail at the far end of his ledge. Now there was not a single scrap of food left. He had searched every inch, rooting among the rough, tight-caked straw nest where he and his brother and sister had been hatched. He even gnawed at the dried pieces of eggshell. It was like eating a part of himself. The author gives a new view of the bird's struggle here. The bird was not eaten for almost 24 hours, so the bird was feeling some kind of faintness. So the bird was searching food in the every inches of the ledge. Okay, so first it was found a mackerel fish tail, but it was already eaten by their family, so only the bone was left over. Next, it was searching everywhere. It was searching in the straw nest and the ledge and the corner of the ledge, and everywhere it was searching. At last, it was found a little pieces of the eggshells. So it has no other way. So it was started eating the eggshells. So while eating the eggshells, the bird felt that it was eating his own part, like that it was feeling, because from the eggshells only he and his brothers and sister came out, hatched out, so that it was feeling like that. Okay. Here we have new words the author has given. So first word, blazing. Blazing means glowing. Next, mackerel. Mackerel means a sea fish, like herring. Mackerel also a kind of sea fish. Cat. Cat means with mud. The straw was mixed with mud. Next, node. Node means to bite. Here we have two questions. Same way, the answers should be exact from the question itself. Okay. So now let's see. What was the first catch of the young seagull's older brother? The first catch of the young seagull's older brother was herring. Okay. So up to here we have in the question only the herring was the word we are adding here. Okay. So herring was the answer. First catch of the young seagull's older brother was herring. Next, what did the young seagulls manage to find in his search for the food on the ledge? So the young seagull managed to find in his search for the food on the ledge was the dried pieces of eggshells. Okay, what was the food was found in the ledge by the young seagull? That was the question. So the answer was the dried pieces of eggshells. The rest of the answers are in the question itself. Okay.